will Australia become a nation of renters? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that as we go into hyperinflation, we will start seeing people not being able to afford things and they'll be forced into rental. If we look at places like New York, for example, a little unit in a city could be worth like $20 million, $30 million, that sort of stuff. If we look at New York, for example, we see that little units in the city could sell for $20 million, $30 million, that sort of stuff. I think as we see our country grow, I think as we see inflation grow, it will become harder and harder for people to buy properties. In New York, for example, people don't expect or have the mindset that they're going to be purchasing a property. They are looking for the opportunity to be able to rent a property. So I do think that as time goes on, it will be harder and harder for people to buy properties because they won't be able to get the capital. But I still think the market will be pushed forward and there will still be a lot of opportunities throughout the country. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that we'll all go to renters because someone's got to own the property. Certainly if there's a lot of people like myself and my investors and our community that buy a lot of these properties, we will hold a large percentage of that market. And we'll be able to have those assets that people won't be able to afford. So it's pretty cool. The next question number 5, is will high inflation burst the housing bubble? So I'm going to tie that back into question number 4. I think that high inflation will just push the cost of everything up. So if we look at it at the moment, going back 2 years ago, tiles, I could buy these specific tiles for like $19 a piece. They went up to $31. The other day I paid $33 for the tiles to renovate in the motel in the Blue Mountains. So the cost of the tile has gone up so greatly. Cost of the labor has gone up dramatically. The cost of copper pipe has gone up. The cost of copper in the electric has gone up. So unless we see everything crash in a deflationary cycle, which I don't see happening because they just keep printing money, we will not see the cost of building a property come down at all. So if we don't see the price of construction coming down, then we will continue to see the need for those products to build the properties. So the prices of new dwellings coming to the market will go up. So there generally becomes a point where it becomes too expensive to build a property to make it profitable, which is where the market sort of taps out. You might see a couple of years as a stagnant in the market, but if we don't have enough properties being built and we've got inflation, if we've got immigration, we're going to see, as borders open up, we're going to see a lot of immigration. We're going to have to import more taxpayers. When I say import, I mean that with a lot of respect. We can't breed taxpayers quick enough, so we need from immigration to come in. We're going to need more taxpayers to come in the country to be able to help with our debts, our high levels of debts as a nation. So we will continue to see lots of immigration come into the country. As we see immigration, there'll be a demand for this housing. As we see, the demand there, but if the properties are costing too much to build, then there's a pent up of demand, and then that'll push the price up dramatically itself. So I don't see any way that inflation will cause a housing bubble crash. It would be deflation that we would see a housing property market crash. And all of my data that comes in from there would come from the central banks and the level of stimulus packages that are being printed. So as the start of 2022, we're starting to see that there is no stimulus packages out there. And I think that'll be a little bit of a dark sign for all markets, and we're starting to see it with all the paper markets, whether it be cryptocurrencies, whether it be shares, whether it be any commodities. Everything's starting to get a little bit shaky because they're not printing money like they were, so they need to go back to printing money. And as long as they print money, that money's going to trickle down and find a home, and that will probably be your own home or your investment property. So inflation is what will cause the market to go up. Deflation will see the market come down.